Hello, everyone. How are you doing this morning or wherever you are watching from? Let's get that over there. Hope everyone is well. Live week coming to you here in 2024. It's one of my favorite times of the year to kick things off, to say, oh, whoa, 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 goodbye to summer. Yes, summer is almost over for teachers and students and other various people. So wherever you are watching from in the world, I'm still drinking some coffee here. Wherever you are watching from in the world, or whatever the end of summer, whatever next is for this season. It's like it's fall. It's like hot as blazes outside. I can't believe we're talking about fall here. When it is not fall weather. So what is the weather where you are? That's another great question to kick us off here for Live Week. But of course, the very first thing I want to come to you with is, as we're settling in for all of our learning that is to come here in the next few weeks and months and over the next season until next summer, learning online, making the best of what all of these resources have to offer, because they have to offer a lot. And it's easy. In fact, there's so much. All right, I guess that's what's brimming up here for me. There is so much online that how do you have time to consume it all? And you don't. You do have to pick and choose. You have to go to sources that you trust. You have to go to places that you know are not going to waste your time. That's for certain. But you do have to, as I always say, you need to have many voices in the room. You need to, your brain always works best when you hear it from lots of different people, all right, from lots of different walks of life. And it's also best when you use YouTube and online as I think it is the greatest supplement that has ever been. Hold on, I gotta check one thing here. Drop me some comments. Where are you guys watching from? What's on your mind? What is on your mind here for the start of of the year? And what are you thinking about as you're coming up on all the things to come? Do you have auditions coming? Do you have do you have auditions coming? Do you have things coming up? Concerts, this, that, and the other that come along with. And I gotta check one little technical thing here. Dun dun dun. Okay, sorry about that. What are you getting ready for? What are you using YouTube for? I think YouTube here, where we are this morning, is in fact the greatest supplement to your learning, the greatest guide you could ever have. You can look up recordings. You can look up tutorials. You can look up, so many things that you have questions about, and I model this all the time to students. I'll go online. I did it. We had our strings camp, orchestra camp this week for students. And, I was going on YouTube to show them just how to move as a musician. I was going on, and listening to recordings to see how fast things are, to see what the dynamics are like. If you don't know something, it's probably been answered somewhere, especially post-pandemic, when so many things are posted for this purpose, all right, and the explosion of online learning. But as always here in this community on this channel, I want to take it a step further with, what I can help you with here. And that's why I have started producing and posting, and I'm actually here in the studio today, all day, recording something brand new that I'm very excited about. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, or that's the plan. I hope it's finished by tomorrow. The PDF for it is ready to go. But I want to talk about, and for those of you that were with me for the checklist challenge, I want to talk about this right here that I'm starting to publish on the website. And this is a free one. This is the 7 cornerstones to better practicing. And what it is a series of videos that you can get to by clicking on, the QR code there at the top. Yeah. Okay. And then I did these using Apple Pages, you can see over there. And then there are checklists, things to check off for each lesson. Why have a checklist? How is that even relevant to what we're doing in music and cello? I think it's very relevant. This book that I read called The Checklist Manifesto, which was actually recommended to me by another musician, by the concertmaster of the Philadelphia Orchestra. So the recommendation definitely came from a good source. And it's basically talking about the problem of complexity, that when you have a complex problem, oh wait, there's some comments over here. When you have a complex problem, it's impossible to remember every single thing every single time. All right. And even some important stuff gets left off. I mean, it's like, because part of the what people might be dismissive. There's the word I'm looking for. Dismissive of checklists is like, well, if it's too long and it has too many details, then it's not going to be functional. And then if you just have the big important stuff on there, well, aren't you going to remember the big important stuff anyway? Well, actually, that's one of the things the book talks about. And some of that big important stuff gets left off all the time. Happens all the time. And the person that's writing it is a surgeon. And so we're talking about, people who, spend a decade or more learning their craft, just like us as musicians who spend even longer. But, this intense study that they go through, and things happen, mistakes happen, unfortunately. And the whole book is about how checklists change that outcome, right? To stop forgetting, stop leaving out some of this big stuff. Let's see, I got a comment here. It says, oh, this is wonderful. It says, how are you doing? I'm new to the cello, in the process of trying to find a good cello to start. Oh, that is excellent. Where are you watching from in the world? Maybe somebody who is in your area could reply back with a comment to maybe help you find a cello wherever you are. This is the great part about being in a community, is that maybe somebody else out there knows of some resources or the best place to go to find one where you are. Because I always say for instruments, for accessories and things, I have lots of them. I'm going to do a whole live stream about them later on. I think I scheduled that one for tomorrow. Online is great for accessories. You can also buy those locally. But for the actual instrument, oh, you are in Ohio. My wife is from Ohio. Well, she's from Russia. But when she first moved here, actually, she's in Ohio right now with the boys. So Ohio is like string mecca. My cello teacher grew up and went to school in Ohio. So many great conservatories and universities in Ohio. So there's definitely lots of string shops in Ohio. I don't know the names of any of them right off the top of my head, but certainly if you're in the Cleveland area or the Cincinnati area, I would imagine you would have your pick of string shops. If anybody is watching this and you're in the Ohio area, I'm curious because every time we go there, we visit Grandma, and we're there to see Grandma, and that's it. And I haven't actually been to a single string shop in Ohio. That's crazy. I should just make that happen the next time I go there. Next comment here, adult learner here. I'm taking lessons at a local place. I enjoy watching YouTube for different practice techniques, playing the basic. And it says okay, so yeah, I love this. Actually, you know, I love that you said adult learner here, looking for some, looking for some different practice techniques, some different things to play. That is what I am recording today. Yes, I have many Suzuki things planned coming on the channel, but I know that adult learners is something that I've not produced a lot of things for specifically, and I know you guys are watching out there. And so what I have coming for you soon today, I'm recording it today. I'll be very excited to share it tomorrow. As a matter of fact, and you said here, the school circle, I'm renting mine from a local music store. Yeah, that's the way to go. Go into your local music store to rent. I want to show you here a sneak peek, actually, of one that I am working on coming tomorrow. Dun, dun, dun. Here it is. A little peek here. So this is a little set of variations that I'm working on. Okay. And again, this one is going to have the checklist. It's going to have the videos. Okay. It's going to have the videos and the QR codes and all those things, but it's also going to have just a timeline map here, week 1 to week 8, of where you are going and what you are doing to help loosen up the right hand. Okay. It is all about gaining this right hand independence. The PDF, the main part, that the part that I just flashed there on the screen, was the hardest part to put together. I've been working on it for weeks, actually, and finally ready to film some videos today and publish those for you guys tomorrow. Let's see. Tiana says, I am in Plainsville, Ohio, close to Cleveland. Cleveland is my neighbor. Yeah. So I'll have to find out who is in the Cleveland area, what string shops there are. Maybe I can find out. And then maybe I'll just post, maybe I'll pin a comment to this live stream later after I find out what string shops are in Ohio. Or if you are a string shop in Ohio, if you're a fan of the channel, reach out, put a comment down there below, or any string shops. If you, a lot of people ship instruments, they ship them out, they have access on their website, even rentals, rentals can be sent through the mail. So, maybe somebody will post something here, on the site, to help us out here. What other questions do you guys have? Actually, we're going to do a big Q&A later. So anyway, but I'm happy to answer some questions now. So just want you to know there are many free resources on the channel here. And as always, this thing is funny. I've put weeks into this course that I'm going to record today and publish for you guys tomorrow. And I'm very, very excited about the PDF. There's going to be sheet music included with it, on how to play the theme and variations that is coming to you. And I can't believe I've already decided what the price is going to be. I'll let it be a surprise tomorrow. But, as I promised in a recent video here on the website, I want these things to be affordable. And not because they're cheap, not because they're cheaply made, that's for certain. I would imagine anyone else putting this much work and this much time into a little mini course would probably charge several $100s, for the amount of time and knowledge and everything else that has gone into it. But I just don't want to do it. I don't know. I want this to be accessible. I want it to be accessible to you. I want it to be something that you feel comfortable purchasing and putting in your library and putting into action, to further the cause of cello playing. All right. And so we'll see how it goes. It's probably going to leave people with their jaws on the floor at how little it's going to cost. But a promise is a promise, and I'm going to stick to my promise and make it affordable. That is so important to to me. All right. And you can always look up that video where I talk about that. It's right there on the very first page of the website. Oh, this is a great question. I love this question. Stage fright. Says, I want to play in the orchestra, but I am shy, and I have stage fright, and I'm scared. We're always afraid of failure, right? And actually, one of the stories, since I already mentioned my wife one time here on the channel, I'll mention her again because she's a great performer. And by the way, she has her own YouTube channel, Julia Sakharova Violin, and you can visit her on her website. But one of the things, because she is a professional performer, she performs a lot more than me. One of the things I've learned from her and learned from myself, of course, in performing is that the biggest thing, like what can you do individually if you don't already have a lot of performing experience? Like the school circle just said, you know, this is a great comment. Play in front of close friends, play in front of a small group. Okay. Which is absolutely true. You know, you should, there's always this like functional side of you just have to do it. Right. You know, and you just have to like do it more. Right. And then you'll get used to doing it. That is absolutely true. On the other side of the coin, what can we do to prepare that when we haven't done it a lot and we're afraid of that initial first time of doing it? And one of the things I've learned from professionals, for myself, from my wife, from colleagues, is that the more decisions you make, okay, the more decisive you are, okay, about what you're doing, then it is like magic pixie dust for your nerves. And, you know, and perhaps maybe unconsciously, this is one of the reasons I started making these checklists, okay, and these practice guides where we are setting clear goals and we are checking them off the list, okay, and going through and saying, I know this. I know how to do this, check, because that is a decisive thing. One of the wisest things I ever heard somebody say, we were talking about getting up on stage and playing and, you know, nerves. And this very great professional said to me, well, this is what I know right now. I can't know something beyond what I know, right? This is what I know. This is what I can share. And this is what I can tell you today. I have no idea what I can tell you tomorrow, and I'm not going to worry about what I wasn't able to tell you yesterday, right? No sense in worrying over things you can't change. So this is like so simple and yet so profound, because I think we get nervous because we're worried about what we don't know, right? We're worried about what we think we should be able to tell the audience, yes. And what we really should be focused on is what we have in fact accomplished. Well, what have we accomplished? Well, if we've been doing the checklists, right? If we've been setting goals and meeting those goals, then it's very, very clear what we have accomplished, right? Instead of being in this whirlwind of vagueness, right? And so this is like the first step, I think, to becoming not nervous is being decisive. I actually have another story about that, but I'm going to read this comment here. Here is Jonathan Cole from my home state of Alabama. Awesome. All right. Working on Foolyard. Yes, lots of great tutorials about that from our friend, Mr. Laparev, over on his channel. And said you bought a cello from Stringworks. Amazing group, amazing instruments. Yeah, bought it online, shipped to me. Oh, cool. All right. And yes, Jonathan's been a fan of the channel here. I've been downloading some things and trying them out. That's awesome. Thank you for the tip. So yeah, Tiana, if you are, getting nervous, I think this is a great first step, right? And it does take both, right? So you have to set some goals, make some decisions. Okay. Those always help. Just building that confidence through our ability. All right. But it isn't just ability. It isn't just time spent, because I can tell you, from experience that even when you're over-prepared, not to scare you, but even when you're over-prepared and you have practice and you've spent time, because people always say, "Oh, if you're just prepared, you won't be nervous. If you just feel prepared." And that's bunk. I'm sorry. That is not, just because you spent the time doesn't automatically mean you won't be nervous, okay? Some nerves are good. I mean, you wanna be energized, you wanna be excited about the performance. And I think, as I've heard some other professional cellists, some famous ones, say that if you're not nervous, then you're probably in trouble. It's probably not going to be a very good performance. So some nerves, some energy is good to have, right? It's going to energize the performance. So don't think that, like, absolutely no nerves is the goal, or that people who are playing, concertos with orchestras that are never nervous, they've just learned to mask it. Maybe that's the other third point that we should talk about, is that, well, it comes from that experience piece. You just get good at masking it. I hope that helps. All right. It's something, oddly enough, it's something I've thought about a lot. I don't think I've ever actually made a specific video about stage fright. I should probably add that to the list and make one. I still feel like even after 4 years, I still feel like the channel is still in its infancy, because there's so much to say and so much to talk about, that I have stuck a lot to some cello specific things, but that's one for sure important thing that I should talk about here on the channel is stage fright. Yeah, decisions. Oh, I said I was going to tell you a story. Actually, this comes from an interview I heard on Fresh Air with Barry Manilow, the famous pop singer, who said that he used to get stage fright quite a bit. And I think this is a great story about stage fright. And he finally decided that he was going to overcome it, wanted to do something very proactive and specific to deal with the stage fright. So, and being the style of show that he has, he talks to the audience a lot, moves around the stage, kind of interacts, does some singing. And the kind of theater person that he went to get help said to him, right, and you can't make this up, said to him, "Don't go anywhere on stage unless you've decided, why you're going there. Unless there's an intentional reason for going there on the stage." Decisiveness, making decisions. I'm going to go here on the stage for this reason. I'm going to go here and say this for this reason. And I understand why I'm doing it, right? That's the confidence piece, right? I mean, we're talking about Barry Manilow. We're talking about somebody who has performed thousands of concerts in their lifetime. I mean, even at this point, when I was hearing this interview like 20 years ago, right, he had performed for many, many years. I mean, this is a person that, through sheer experience, shouldn't be nervous anymore, right? Shouldn't be, because they've done it so many times, and yet they were. And the thing that got them past it, all right, and he said it was like miracle, like no more nerves, right? Don't go anywhere on stage unless you know why you're going there, unless you've made a conscious decision to go somewhere, okay? And no more nerves, right? I mean, it's lived with me all these years, all right, because it is solid proof that sometimes, even for somebody like that the decision-making process is that important, okay? And since nervousness is such an emotional thing, yes, because I love connecting music and emotion, and what the emotion, what the power of it has to do with some of our more, what we think of as more technical or scientific things, what it can do for us to fuel our technique, or fuel the good parts of what we want in a performance. Yes. So yeah, decisiveness. It is everything. Okay. It's not just a nice idea. It's not like, well, maybe I'll make some decisions. Maybe I'll, blah, blah. No, you have to. You absolutely, you have to. So thanks for the question. Sorry, I could go on and on and on about that. It's such a wonderful topic. This idea of decisiveness and what it means for us. Maybe I should devote I've almost devoted this entire live stream to it. So maybe I'll change the title here, or I'll excerpt this part out into a separate video. So yeah, I thank you for the question. Okay. All right. So I'm keeping them short and sweet as always here. All right. Unless anybody has any more questions. I always love the questions. So this afternoon is just going to be us hanging out. All right. I'm going to go do some recordings as I promised, and we're going to hang out. We're going to talk cello here later this afternoon. Excuse me. This afternoon, here on the channel, Q&A, all cello, all the time, all cello radio, as my friend Ben would say. And I will see you guys then. I'm excited. I love answering questions. I hope you guys will put some questions down in the comments. I hope that you'll be here to ask some questions, because it is my absolute favorite when I get to interact with you guys. All right. I will see you then.